y'all. Welcome to our 4th episode of AFReats, recorded in front of a live studio audience. My name's Claudine Fox, and I am the moderator for today. AFReats podcast is a beautiful concept where we bring Black and Brown folks together to talk about food, community, joy, memories, all of the things linked to food. And we have some panelists with us today. And before I talk about the actual agenda for the episode, I want to introduce our panelists. So tell me your name, your nationality, and if you have any social media handles that you want to drop, feel free to drop them.
All right, my name is Custodio Gomes. On Instagram and Facebook and everything else is author Custodio Gomes. I'm an author, educator. I'm from Cape Verde, West Africa. Born and raised. You can't tell by my non-accent heaven self, but that's where I'm from.
Thank you.
My name is Jalon Agnew, founder of Knowledge of Self. I am a psychotherapist with my own private practice. Where I'm from is I'm Black mixed with more Black, but my dad's side is from North Carolina. My last name is actually the name of the plantation, and my mom's side is from Trinidad and Barbados. So if an accent pop out, that's just what it is, and that's where we at.
Any social media handles that you want to
Social media handle, I am NALEJ25 on Instagram, and I am just Jalon on Facebook. My website, knowledgeofself.com, spelled NALEJ of self.com, and that's me.
Thank you. And like I said, my name is Claudine, and my Instagram handle is @EmptyPlateFox. So we're here today to eat and be in community, which means we get to try 3 amazing installments of food: an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert made by a local chef. And so I'm going to invite the local chef to introduce themselves.
Come on, local chef.
Come on, local chef. Nice apron, yo. What's your name? So you can stand right there and face that camera. So what's your name? What are we doing here?
My name is Cook Up Coop.
Cook up Coop.
Cook Up Coop.
What up?
I love it.
Just networking and just passing on good vibes, good energy through food. Food is nonverbal, energy. So just talking without talking. So.
Talking without talking. I love that.
I like that.
I want to hang on to that. So where are you from? Are you from the area?
I'm a native of Hartford.
Native of Hartford.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay.
But background Jamaican and Cuban. So I've always been in the kitchen. So your talent finds you. More or less it found me. So very diverse, so.
Yeah. Do you have any social media handles that you want to share?
Cook Up Coop on all social media.
Cook Up Coop on all social media.
Yep.
So are we ready to get started with our appetizer?
She ready.
Oh. All right. Let's bring it on out. Oh. Yes. Hello. Oh, look at you. So what we do is that we smell it, we taste it, we talk about what we're tasting and what we're experiencing. I like a deep smell like that. And then we'll ask you to talk to us about what's in there, okay?
All right.
All right, y'all. Dig on in.
I gotta smell it again.
Smell it again. You smell mac and cheese.
He said it was nonverbal, so I'm just.
That face? Tell me about that face.
It's like when you listen to music, it's real good. You gotta have that face.
The steak face.
Yeah, I gotta push it back. I can't eat it and smell at the same time. I'm too good for that. And the funny part is that I don't eat cheese. This is phenomenal. I will take that L with cheese. But it's phenomenal. It tastes great. Look at me do that. All this cheese is gonna be gone.
kind of blasphemy is that?
Well,
I have questions.
lactose. That's
Who's gonna have that fun?
but I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna take that out.
I'm team lactose as well.
Oh, listen,
Yep.
cooking Coop, right?
Yep.
Oh, you cooking, homie.
Yeah. So what are we tasting? What's happening for us? Are we being brought back to any certain place? What are we experiencing?
This tastes like sitting on the floor getting my hair grease.
Tell me more about that.
It tastes like there's so much going on in the world, but right here, shit good. It tastes like I got lactose too, but I just pretend I don't.
We're all gonna die. That's what I'm hearing.
And
On that side, right?
We're going to take a brief intermission.
and the universe said, like, you gotta imagine what you want. So, like, I just imagine I'm not lactose.
How's that working out for you?
I'll let you know in like 30 minutes. But this is really good. It also, like, I feel like when you make the mac and cheese at family gatherings on holidays, that means you the shit. And may I add, I'm the macaroni and cheese maker for the holidays. So it just feels like I feel honored.
To be served mac and cheese.
Hello.
And not making it. I see. Hello, good night. How about you, my friend? What's going on?
Well, in my house, growing up, my parents were both can cook ridiculously well. So they would put us in this ridiculous situation. It was my older brother, my older sister, and me, and they would sit us down, and they would make various meals, and they would just make each one of us, okay, you taste this, and then you taste that. And we had to tell whose was better.
What?
Yeah, I know, it was ridiculous. Growing up in the house, because I don't know if I was gonna get beat if I say my mom's was like not as good as my father, but it was ridiculous, and this kind of reminds me. My mother used to love cooking with cheese and stuff like that, and it really reminds me of that. And I've been lactose since I was real young, and I just took that out. And this literally reminds me of that. I think if I eat all of this, I won't have space for anything else, and I want just this. And I don't even eat mac and cheese. I never eat mac and cheese. Cookouts, ever. I don't even bother. Yeah.
Let's take another bite.
Oh, the thing too is I like how it's like well done, like little burnt taste, because I have these taste buds. I always like my food with that burnt taste, like it's in the back of the house, or like a cookout charcoal. Like when you go to a restaurant and they give you that, I'm like, yo, could you
take it back?
Yeah,
take the steak and
they
put
bring
it
it,
on the fire.
and they ask, nah, take it back again. That type of guy. So
Well
this,
done, yes.
yeah, he did his thing with this. He did his thing. I like that. I don't even know what I'm tasting, but I'm tasting. Yeah, that's what I'm tasting.
All right. Any last thoughts?
Nah, this is real good. I feel like it's a black delicacy.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
You gotta like who's making the mac and cheese?
Yeah.
As long as there's no raisins, like who's making the mac and cheese? You need to know this. And this is one of those mac and cheese that will get you like, yeah. They could come back. They'll come back next year.
So I'm not the mac and cheese maker. I'll make the rice. I'll make the chicken. I'll make that other stuff.
And I'll bring them back.
But
I bring the napkins.
what you? He said the napkins.
It's
All
in
right.
straw, so
Thank
people like to
you.
drink
So
off
we
the
could
cups.
drink out the.
Exactly, but no, this I don't know what this like these little. Is that like cilantro or something like that? I don't
Parsley,
know.
maybe?
Maybe parsley, but
Or scallion.
It kind of.
Scallion looks like scallion.
I think it is scallions. It gives it like it plays with your taste buds. It's like I'm a writer, so I like to play with words. So
We
I
got a poet up here too. All right, come
Yeah.
through. Tell me to come on.
Well, I have 3 books out, but I write motivational books. And as a writer, if you are a poet, I started as a poet, performing everywhere when I was in college or whatnot. But honestly, writers are probably the most cerebral people on earth because we like to mess with people's minds. Therefore, my books you'll think you're reading about this, reading about that, and he did the same thing here. These little greenies.
Scallions.
Greenies He's green. He's literally will change the taste bud, and then it's like, oh, you want some of this? So he's really good. He's definitely cooking up.
What do we think he was communicating to us with this? Because he said, food is not verbal. What do you think he was trying to communicate?
I can play with your mind and make your taste buds think you're gonna eat something. You got something else. Because he definitely doing that.
That sounds sexual.
It does.
I mean,
It does.
it could be. But food is like that.
I want to add also, like, as Black and brown people, we've had to make scraps delicate and make scraps into things and make chitlins out of life. And macaroni and cheese is one of those things where, like, I'm pretty sure they didn't have much. They threw it all together. And that's what we do as Black and brown people. There's no stopping us. And you can give us whatever little you want. But just know we're going to create something out of it. And then you're going to culturally appropriate it.
Gentrify?
And gentrify it.
Gentrify also?
That quick left hook. All right. I didn't even know we were going
I was just making sure that we all knew we're on the same page.
Okay.
You got it?
We got it. We good. I think we good. On that note, where is Coop? Where he at?
Cook up Coop.
Cook up Coop. Come true. Tell us what we eating. What's in it? Maybe he'll surprise us all and tell us he made it with like almond milk or something. It'll all be fine.
We'll be okay.
It ain't almond milk. It's too rich.
So you wonder what's in it?
Yes.
A little bit of Vermont cheddar, You gotta talk that Vermont cheddar type of thing.
Vermont knows how to do
the main
cheese.
to them, bring out that with sharp cheddar, of course. Plus, sharp cheddar is good for people that's lactose intolerant, that have lactose in it. Just telling you.
All three of us are.
I didn't claim that though.
She had it, but she doesn't claim
Like
it.
that.
That's smoking silent partner in the room. Well, I love mac and cheese. Well, my son really loves mac and cheese, so if it ain't right for him, it ain't right. He's gonna tell me it ain't right. I need to be browned on the top of it. So my kids gonna tell me they bold up front, so that's what it is.
What's the little green? Is that scallions?
That's chives actually.
Oh, snap. Fancy.
Yeah, we're not doing scallions.
No, we're doing chives today. Little onion taste. Little. Okay. I'm here for it.
That's funny.
Are we ready for our entree? I eat like a bird. There should be no expectation that I'm
I
going
need
to finish this.
space. So I got it.
Ooh, thank you. There's rice. I'm cool.
But I
might want to finish that.
I was on the same.
Don't throw it away.
Just put mine right on the side right there.
Yeah, I want to eat that later. At home when I'm safe. I'm going to finish that. Ooh, we getting a little spotlight. Look. They need a pepper. Okay. So smell it. Take it all in. Then taste.
It smells golden like this. Work. Presentation is phenomenal.
Fire.
In the name of the name.
She already doing her happy shoulder dance.
Won't do it.
Won't eat.
Oh my God. I tell you, it's just as good as it looks. This is ridiculous.
What are we tasting? What's going on for you?
This rice has like some. Usually, I eat a lot of Caribbean food. I love Caribbean food. And I don't really like coconut rice like they usually do. Some like pieces of coconut. But this is. It doesn't taste like coconut rice, but it tastes real. It has that sweet taste. But then it's like he threw some spices in there that just. It mixes it up with the sweetness and the spiciness, and I don't even like white rice because I just think it has no flavor. But whatever he threw in here with it, sweetness. Y'all have no idea.
I feel like he seasoned this meat like last week. The seasoning. It's not just on the top. It's like, y'all know what this means, right?
It in there.
It's in there. This make me want to whine on somebody mad real quick. A good whine. Maybe a good whine and send you back home to shit.
Yo.
No, it's that good wine that you ain't going back to shit. Because this is, this meat is exactly what you said. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. It seemed like he left it seasoned for a while because it's like it's pouring out. And usually when you have chicken like this, it's usually kind of dry.
Yeah.
Regardless of what flavor you put on it, but you bite it and you feel it's like juice coming out of it, but it's not. So it's the spices. It's perfect. It's not too spicy. A lot of people can't eat spicy. I love spicy food. My culture, we eat spicy food all the time. But
I tasted some Scotch bonnet.
Right?
a little bit,
Not too much though. Right, just
Scotch bonnet. People don't know what that is. Cause you tell me
Scotch bonnet is a pepper that is very normal to people in the West Indies.
Yep.
And it's pretty hot if you use all of it. So when you just sprinkle it a tad, it's not too spicy.
So
It's really delicious.
in Haitian culture,
Okay.
we have pickles, right? And my mom literally has a jar of pickles sitting on her counter right now, right? Like if we walked into her apartment, we would see it in the kitchen. And it's literally Scotch bonnet pepper sliced in half, soaking in vinegar with carrots and maybe some cabbage, and you just let it sit. And then she cooks something like rice and chicken, and she just pour that shit right on top. And so the Scotch bonnet has had time to pickle, but also it is the deepest and most beautiful spice.
It's funny you say that because since everybody's talking about their cultures,
Come through.
we're going to talk about the Cape Verdean culture, right?
Come on.
So we have this thing called malagata, which is kind of like Scotch bonnet, just as deftly. You bite it, you probably not going to eat nothing for a few days, but they do the same thing. They'll put it in a jar, let it sit on something. So my mother was really good for that before we came to the States. Because it's hard to get it here because we grow our own food, we grow everything, so we go out there and pick it up, let it sit in the jar, and then she would put it all over whatever food it would be, whatever meat that you're eating, and this literally gives me that nostalgic feel of it. It literally just brought me back to growing up on top of a mountain. After I came back with water in my head, those videos you guys see, I was one of those kids. Over the mountain with the food, and everyone we have to carry, and then just have this, and it just tops off your day. You know what I mean? You just thought about that? Yeah, I figured it was. Oh man! But this literally brought me back to that. It brought me back to being a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid, just sitting outside on top of the mountain, looking over the city after a long day of work and eating that. And this is definitely what he just did with this. Yeah.
I'm having a lot of thoughts. I guess my first thought is how much of a privilege it is to be able to like pull and connect that deeply to your culture, whether you experienced it firsthand or if you're like first generation and you're experiencing it through your parents. I think there's just something deeply beautiful about that. And when you mentioned that you can't get that that's pepper here, it reminded me that like last summer I garden. And my mom lives here in Hartford with me now, and we've got her little pot garden going, and she's now growing Scotch bonnet peppers, and so she's got like this access to her fresh pepper just on her porch. And I don't know,
Island thing.
it's an island thing. I don't know, that just made me feel very deeply grateful for that experience.
It tastes like. See, there's a difference between pepper sauce and hot sauce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Say that again.
There is a difference between pepper sauce and hot sauce. Do you hear the difference in that? Anyway.
You gotta say it with the accent so they really get it.
This, if it tastes like, it has pepper sauce on it. It reminds me of my granny house. And my granny stopped cooking like 10 years ago, and she put a sign in her kitchen and was like, yeah, so I'm not cooking no more. We were just like, as a grandmother, are you even allowed to make that choice? But this tastes like something she would have made back when she was still cooking. And she would have started in the morning, and you wake up to that smell. And she had that, what's that pot? Y'all know the pot. The pot. She had the good, that pot. And we would sneak in and like try to, and then you have to close it real soft so she don't hear that you was in the pot.
She always hears it.
I know y'all in the pot. She always hears it. Wasn't me, Granny. That's what this does for me. Thank you.
Another thing too is, I'm out. I ain't putting on. There was no cheese in this, so I'm good. But I don't eat peppers. Like I'll cook with it for the flavor and whatever, and then I'll just either leave it in there and take it out before I eat it because I just don't like peppers. I don't like the texture of it. Peppers, onions, I don't like the texture of it. But as you can see, there's no peppers left. Cause I don't know what you did. You cooked up something. You got the perfect name. Cause you ain't here cooking up.
Chef Coop. Yeah.
Coop is doing this thing, but those peppers were. It was like sweet and a little spicy as well.
You make jerk chicken and have brown sugar in it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's the brown sauce. And there's coconut shavings in the rice, I just noticed.
So the consistency changes when you boil coconut, the consistency changes. But like my mother, everybody had a job when they was younger, as far as like in the kitchen. So everybody had a job in the kitchen when they was younger, as far as like my mother would tell me about my grandmother. So some would shave the coconut, cook it down, and it was just different jobs and stuff like that. So that's kind of like, you got to know where you're going, so you got to know where you come from. So you have to keep the old with the new. You have to bring the old with the new. You can't forget. You have to always remind them. That's right. You always got to remind them.
That's right.
Okay, so we did a lot of speculating, a lot of nostalgia and remembering. Tell us what we're eating.
You are eating jerk chicken. Well, what I did is, as far as the jerk chicken goes, I grilled it. But I also made a sauce because Jamaicans and West Indians don't make no jerk chicken sauce, no jerk any sauce. So what I did is I take parts of the chicken and cook it down with potatoes, onions, peppers, and make a sauce. Then I layer it back over the chicken itself, so it sits in the chicken. But it also, I put butter beans in the sauce.
I love butter beans.
Then you gotta put fresh thyme in it. You know, my mother always tell me it's not real jerky. You gotta put no, whatever. So she tell me if it ain't right, it ain't right. So I'm like, okay, then. So you gotta get it right. That's it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's delicious.
So that spice, that was just the jerk that you added there? Because it wasn't, like usually, you go to different spots, sometimes they're just too jerky.
Right.
Like, no one can eat this.
But
I just made
you
up a
gotta
word.
find a balance. It's a balance. The balance. It's like love. You gotta love her right. You can't love her too hard. You can't love her too soft. You're too soft or you too,
I'm noticing a theme.
You was thinking about that.
I'm very poetical.
Let me eat some more.
I make music and also, work with deaf kids and stuff like that. So
Here we go. Okay, so what do we think? Again, just pulling from this food is nonverbal. What do we think he was trying to communicate to us with this dish?
I think it's exactly what he said. I think it's just that everything that he was told, what everybody had a job in the kitchen to do. I think it was passed down to him. Because, sometimes we get these lessons when we're young, we don't really take it in until as we get older, we realize, oh, that's what they meant. Oh, that's what it is. And sometimes it'll just come out of nowhere and you just start doing it without thinking. And it's just the same thing as parenting. The things that your parents did, you would get mad or whatever. But then when you have your own kids, you do the same thing and you're like, man, this is better than you. So I think, when you know how people say, you gotta put your foot in the food, you gotta put your foot in it. I think he put both Tims. Mixed it up, right? And then he took his beanie off and rubbed it on there. Smelled it, because he knew we was gonna smell it before we ate. I know he knew that, you know. So, but he put, yeah.
There gotta be laws of attraction as far as like before you smell a woman, before you see a woman, you smell her. Before you see a handsome man, you smell her.
See that?
That's game right there.
Spitting right now, okay.
That's real. Like damn, who smelling that? As soon as you come around the corner, like okay.
Because you already did.
Right. It's the same thing. You know?
What's happening? What's going on?
I'll second that.
You put all that in there?
All that.
Oh man.
The most important ingredient in anything is love, passion, the process. You can't skip the steps. You skip the steps. You gonna know. Like my son told me one day, like, Dad, you made the roster pasta. The noodles you used wasn't. Yeah, don't use those again.
Dang.
I skipped the step.
Right.
I'm like, yo, so I fumbled that, but I took it in though. I took it in, and you got. If you want great, you gotta be able to take constructive criticism. Period.
Yes.
That's it.
So you asked what I think he put in there. I said, turn it around and push it back. Hey! Boy, they want to run it. Boy, they want to run it. Boy, that's what he put in there. That's what's in there.
Hold on, my question to you.
That's what's in there. And don't take my plate either.
See, you didn't even finish this.
No, now I'm coming back.
No, it's funny you said to take your plate. I was gonna say the same, don't take my plate. You see, ain't nothing there. But you know, when you were younger and the food is so good
You'd be like,
that I don't know what in our country, I'm sure it's an island thing, but you know, you would chew on the bone to get that last flavor.
Yeah,
Yo,
absolutely. I see this right here. Right.
I think would chew on this.
Yo,
There ain't nothing there because the flavor was that good, bro.
Half of the time.
Bro, listen.
So you got certain vegetables in there too that were steamed. Well, you can, like I said, you can't miss a step.
Yeah.
Older always telling you need your vegetables. You need your vegetables.
fresh vegetables.
Fresh vegetables.
So what I do is I put fresh vegetables on top. So when the steam hits it, it sears it. So you're not losing anything.
Nah.
Put the vegetable on the top. Boy. Hold it. Hold it and
Hold on, before we even go any further,
Aye.
you guys are the dopest audience.
I know, y'all.
Everybody knew all the songs.
Y'all did join it with me. Thank you. Oh, Lord, Father God. Okay.
Man, I'm supposed to have a quote right now. I don't have one. So let's just move right on to dessert.
Don't take my plate. Let's push it back. Let's push it. Yeah. Somebody got some foil somewhere. I'm gonna just grab that right on her.
You ain't taking mine. I ain't got nothing, but you ain't taking. I'm taking that plate out.
More cake.
Oh, it looks moist.
Hello, beautiful. Thank you. How are you doing today? Are you ready to be consumed?
It's already gone.
Did you smell it?
Oh, sorry.
Smell it. Did you smell it?
What?
Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
I only smelled it.
First
No, I
of all,
smell
this
it.
cake is being inappropriate with me right now. What? You want to do what?
Oh my God.
That's like Raekwon first take, you know, like what is it? Verbal intercourse. You know?
Raekwon the chef.
Big shot.
Yo, listen.
Excuse.
So, in Cape Verde, cakes and pastries are a big thing. And they always look like this. That's the funny thing. It looks exactly like this, and usually, you know, they're either square or circle or whatever it is, but the taste of it, I'm telling you, man, the diaspora is so small that it's not too much. Like, it's different things that I'm tasting, but none of them are overstepping the other one. None of one's like, this is too much. I can only taste a bit of that. It's like you balanced it so well. And without even eating the strawberry next to it, I don't know if you did this purposely, but the strawberry gives it a different scent connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's, purposely done, but man.
Yeah.
It tastes bready and cakey at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a sweets person, but like, this is it. You know, when you eat something too sweet and you can't eat that much of it. This is just right. And then we put the strawberry on it. It give you like another filling or whatever. I don't even. What's the verb for strawberry? That.
But it does kind of taste like bread. And once again, I'm very nostalgic of food.
Perfect.
We would always eat bread in the morning before we went to school, and it was like a big type of loaf. We didn't slice it and just, we were supposed to. My mother expected us to, but we were always, school was around the corner, island thing. You just run out, and you just snatch a piece, and it literally would look like that. And it tastes just like it. So he brought me back once again, and that's the greatness about being a great chef. You know what I mean? Your food kind of reminds you of the greatness of when you were younger, and your childhood, your memories of your parents or wherever you grew up or whatever it is. And it doesn't really matter where you are. The food taste will always come back.
You strive to reinvent. Like when you hear music and if you produce, like if you watch it, if you're not an actual producer or not a musician that actually plays, if you play by ear, you try to mock. What you do is you mocking what you see, so nostalgically, like you're remembering like grandma had this to see. So let me try to remember. Because when you're around something so long, you see, you're like, let me try this. That's what it was missing. Exactly, that's what it was missing. But also, first and foremost, being black in general is globally. We're not just a month to month history. We everywhere. And spices tell history. It tells a story. Curry is not from Jamaica.
Right.
Curry's from East India.
Right.
So when you see, we call them coolies. You know what I'm saying? East India came in, people got brought around. They brought their spices with them, So it's different things. Why do you think the spice trade was so big? But it's globally. You go to Africa, they cook with cinnamon. They cook with coconut and all that stuff. It tells a story. So know your history.
That's right. I don't know about y'all, but this as you can see, I ate all my food. I eat a lot. I'm a soccer player, so I'll just figure I'll work it out when I get on the soccer field. But as you get like deeper into it, I don't know if y'all got to that part, but it's real soft. It's like in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how you did that, but the flavoring is richer.
It's kind of like a limbe.
Yeah,
flip
man.
it,
Yeah.
all the flavor right
Yeah,
there.
that's
But
exactly what
it's sitting in the middle though, because it dripped down. And it find
and
out
that's because you can see it towards like the bottom of it. You can really taste it. But they're not.
It's soft in the middle and then it drips down.
I want to hear more about
What is
that.
You said it was soft in the middle and then it drips down. That's all I'm just repeating what
But that's
you
like
said.
a balance of it's like chaos and pandemonium in the final. There's a thin line between that, that love that. What brown sugar?
Yeah.
You were tight. What is it? You like the tight is.
You're dope versus over type.
There you go. You dope versus tight. It's a balance. It's a balance. You gotta find it.
Yeah, but I just flipped it over.
Balance, money.
I just flipped it over on the bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
So wait, okay. Okay. What are we eating?
You are eating what is it? Butter rum cake.
That's why it's so soft.
But with a French inspired though, with the buttercream over the top of the.
Can you take me back to the flipping part?
I want to hear how you flip it.
I want to hear that.
What's on the inside, right?
So, that part. What you flip it and it finds it merges together. It finds that fine balance. For the most part, you know. But it's like I said, it's like a limber. When you flip the limber.
Limbe, thank you.
Limber,
Yes.
you flip it over. You know, like the flavor's at the bottom, but when you flipping it over and you chop down at the top,
through,
it's
yeah.
seeping through. So then when you reach that bottom, because the top is the most frozenness. Yeah. Well, that's not even a word. It's more frozen. It seeps right there, then it meets in the middle. Same thing with the cake. It meets in the middle.
I learned something new today.
So it's drizzly.
Drizzle.
How we doing, Jen-Lon?
I'm good.
Where are we at? What is this kicking up for you?
Flipping. Softness in the middle.
Can't. This could go left so quickly.
Somebody left. No, it just really, the softness, like he's talking about, and like I said, I'm not a dessert person, but it's not too sweet, so it keeps you coming back. And it reminds me of Granny House on the other side, the Black Granny. It reminds me of that. And I listened to what you said about the diaspora. It's interesting when you go different places, the food is all reminiscent of each other.
Yeah.
And I remember I went to Ghana and I felt at home because my family's from the islands. And things were different, but they were the same at the same time, if that makes any sense.
No,
and it's different, but it's the same at the same time. That's what this tastes like for me.
Right. You go to Africa, you go to Liberia, they got a thing called, what is it, like potato greens or something like that. It's like a soup or something, but they put it over the right rice. But it has, not mistaken, it has like chicken in it. To me, when I taste it, because like one of my good friends is from Liberia, it tastes like, what is it? Codfish and collard. So I'm like, oh damn! I'm like,
right.
I need another plate of that right there. So it's
just to confirm.
different things, you know. Similarity though, you know, like you can see the inspiration where it comes from sometimes.
If anything, if it makes sense, my tongue remembers.
Yeah.
It remembers like
muscle memory.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the beauty of food, right? Is that you could eat something as an adult that you haven't had since you were a kid, and all of a sudden you are transported back to that time of that thing that you ate, and suddenly you're like there again. And it could be a memory that you put down or put away for a little while, but food has that beautiful quality and that beautiful power of like bringing you back to a place that maybe you thought you would never see again.
Or a memory of another life.
Right.
Like, I don't even have the memory here, but my body is like, yo, we did this one time, couple times before.
Definitely.
So it transcends.
Well, I felt that in all three dishes, but the cake. I mean, just not even just the taste and the flavor, just the look of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's different. There are different levels of how you took me back to where I grew up, how I grew up, and not only just going back home. Because actually I'm about to go back home in the summer, but just to feel exactly what you just said, like it's reminiscent of, man, I remember when I was no iPhones and no technology, nothing like that. I mean, no phones at all. They still don't have phones up there on top of the mountain. And then you taste it. It's crazy how, you Caribbean. I'm in West Africa, and it still has that same. This is exactly what you're saying. The spices, most of them come from different areas. So, just as we, you were talking about earlier with history, as we would disperse, people passed on those spices.
Right.
This is what we did, where it came from. I mean, you talk about 200 years ago.
It was a big thing, though. What is the spice trading was a big thing.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
That was the biggest one. That's where we all started.
Salt by itself. I'm not talking about any other thing. Salt by itself.
And like you said, India, that's what they were trying to get to anyway, because all the spices were coming from there. So
even when
taste
you go to Jamaica, or you got China in Jamaica, but when you make stewed chicken has soy sauce.
Yeah.
And you just pop up over there, really like, we made it in Jamaica. Nah, they made it in Jamaica. Just different things.
Thank you.
Well, one thing, we thank my grandmother, my mother's, my aunts.
Thank you,
Yes,
Granny.
thank you, Granny and Mommy.
I'm just a vessel. That's all.
Oh, before you even said, listen, I live an hour from here.
Listen, I cater.
I come up here and get it.
Listen,
Like that food was that serious.
you gotta do the footwork though, man. Like people scared to do the footwork. Everybody want to be on social media. Is cool. That's the Asian time. But if I go into a spot that say cook up cool, yo, my bread not yo. It's different because you're telling them like, yo, that's not right. Nah, move that. Nah, you missed it. You missed a step. You gotta be there. People want that. Like when you go to certain spots, it's missing. When you go to Italian spot, like you see old Nana or something in there. Nana's in the kitchen. Right? From the sun up to sundown, she's in the kitchen. And it'll be like that for 40 years. So that's the legacy. You know, that's what it is.
We're gonna talk more about that during the Chef Spotlight. Well, what was your favorite meal thing of the 3 things we ate today?
That jerk chicken and that rice was just something serious.
I brought you places.
I'm still looking at that string.
Just don't be looking
The time?
No, string. I'm gonna call it string. We call it string. The flavoring in it is crazy because those are small things that you get no flavor into it.
Yeah.
He's able to get all the flavor that's in the rice and the chicken connected to it. So that was my favorite one. That was definitely my favorite one. And like I said, I live far from here, but I will definitely take a drive up here. I come up here a lot for soccer. I will come see you.
Bet. Jalan.
My favorite was also the jerk chicken, and it tastes like you ever be eating and whining at the same time.
Yes.
It tastes like one of those things where you be like. That's what it tastes like. It just tastes like you chipping down the road. You have your plate, and you eating and whining at the same time. That's what that tastes like to me. It was great. It is great.
Appreciate it.
I agree. The jerk chicken and the rice were bomb. Yeah, out of this world.
But hold on. Imagine that jerk chicken being cooked on like sugar cane.
Huh. We ain't
That's
gonna
why
go
we're gonna
there.
come see you in the summer.
We ain't gonna go there right now. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here for our fourth episode of AFReats. Tune in next time where we'll have another set of dope panelists, another chef, and come back. Find us on Instagram at AFReats_Inc., where food is the theme, the Black diaspora is the focus.